Alright, hi. I've been a bit all over the place recently, and I thought I was kind of done with this year, at least with the dragons, for a bit, because I don't have the book to read the up to date stuff on the deep dragons or the spirit dragons. But it seems I was wrong because there is another one that I saw just today when I was re skimming through Fizma. Meet the Moonstone Dragon. A Moonstone Dragon comes about in one of two ways. Either they're just born from other Moonstone Dragons, or more interestingly, a dragon could go to the Feywild for whatever reason and abandon some eggs there. The eggs would then get suffused with the energies of the Feywild, morphed in whatever odd fashions, and turn into a Moonstone Dragon. Or will hatch as a Moonstone Dragon. And let's talk about this thing's design, because it is very cool in my... Looking upon it, like, you see this hair going down its chest and its tail, and also I really like that, like, whimsical looking, like, beard kind of style of growth on his chin. You can see two different horns growing out of his head, giving a more crescent shape kind of look, which I really like. And another thing I'm noticing is their wings have like a cellulose kind of design that makes you think of like leaves, you know? It looks a lot more like calm and passive to nature just in its design, and I like that a lot. Now, the Moonstone Dragon has some very fascinating details to its mechanics because, for one, it has two breath weapons. It does not have a lot of the other stuff that was common with metallics or gem dragons. It does know a lot of languages, surprisingly. It knows Common, Draconic, Elvish, Gnomish, and Sylvan. At least as an adult it does. But it also has two breath weapon options, and one is a beam of radiant damage, which normally you see Cone with like the new dues for like the lightning breath dragons. It's a beam now, and for the Moonstone Dragon, it's a beam. It's 90 feet long, 10 feet wide, and is a dex save for some radiant damage. And the other option is a is a standard cone, but you roll a con save. If you fail, you go unconscious for 10 minutes. It's a straight just go to sleep. And actually no, technically I don't know if this would work on elves or not, because sleep isn't a separate condition. Normally sleep stuff just puts you unconscious. So I'm going to assume that this wouldn't work on elves, just logicking it right here, because elves, they are immune to sleep effects. They trance throughout nights and they don't actually sleep. So this probably would not work on elves, or I think Warforged or Thri-Kreen, such as that. But it is a con save, so your barbarian is likely to pass it, but it is cool. I'm seeing some very simple, very passive spells on this guy's spell list, like Fairy Fire, Calm Emotions, Dispel Magic, Invisibility, Revivify. That's a big one. Fucking Revivify on a dragon. That's very interesting to me. But other than that, it's like nothing really crazy in their mechanics. But their story stuff is all very fun to me. Moonstone dragons are really good at penetrating the dreams of people close to their lairs, and their lair actually thins the veil between the Feywilds and the material plane, literally to the point that they can just easily transverse between the two. One of the fun bits is on like the tables for individual dragons for like deciding their personalities. One of them can be is they consistently forget which plane they're on, which is fun and cool. Now, the Moonstone Dragon is supposed to be like mischievous kind of prankster type in their young age. Very fitting for the Fey landscape. And then as they get older, they get wiser and calmer, and they gain a very deep appreciation for stories and storytelling as a whole. To the point that, as a rule,
Like, this is a hard, fast rule. It literally says it in the blurt text stuff. That Moonstone dragons do not like gold, copper. They do not collect things for the sake of monetary value alone. They would rather hear a heartfelt story of a happy childhood, or a painting of a place that you enjoy, of a place that you miss, or a song sung heartfeltly. They much value things of personable significance. If you're offering something to a Moonstone dragon, they want something that feels genuine, not something that's meant to placate them. And I really like that. It also says that they're more likely, for physical objects, they're more likely to collect silver, platinum, mithril. It seems that they just generally do have a dislike for the particular sheen of copper and gold. Um, but they like objects that don't have an obvious immediate value, things that you have to kind of interpret. Um, so it gives this kind of social complexity that I like. I like some of the different options for their personality traits and such, because it's like, yeah, for like ideals, they basically range from curiosity, nonviolence, whimsy, beauty, inspiration, and power, and which are kind of obvious. There, this is one of the neutral dragons, so they want to give a bunch of broad options. But the adventure hooks are all looking pretty cool. Um, a Moonstone dragon operating as, like, acting as an artist's muse and then disappearing at one point. A powerful spellcaster holding one captive and making them use their ability to wander into people's dreams to lure adventurers into doing things to aid the spellcaster's nefarious schemes. There's a bunch of cool stuff. There's one right here at the bottom that is even just a Moonstone dragon accidentally stumbling through a portal and can't find their way back to the Feywild from the material plane, and they just need help getting home. And there's a bunch of cool stuff like that. Um, they do have some connected creatures as well, just like all the gem dragons do. They are likely to interact with pixies and sprites the most. Other fey creatures who may revere or want to serve the dragon are likely to show up as well. And like more little story options it gives is there could be like an ancient Moonstone dragon sibling could be in prison for a long period of time, and could come back like disfigured or rageful and such. There's a lot of interesting stuff to do with all these things, and the they do fit very well to, I can't remember his name, but there's like a really whimsical fucking guy in the Lord of the Rings. My brain is saying Samwise, but I don't know if that's the right one. There's like just really, like, my brain's thinking of like that type of archetype, which is like the really whimsical character who pops in, speaking in rhymes the whole time, fucks with you for a bit, and then dips. It's a I like to imagine something like that because these guys just seem like fun as they are younger, and then just wise and meaningful as they're older. So it's a very interesting dragon here.